it's time for a not so like a top 10, but a bit of information first. British owl species. How to identify, diet, and where to see. Spotting an owl in flight or hearing the distinctive hoot of a tawny owl is an exciting wildlife encounter. Learn about the UK's owl species, including how to identify them, where to see, and what makes them so good at hunting at night. Silently swooping through the land as night draws in, British owls are elusive, beautiful birds, which can be seen in both rural and urban landscapes. Owls are one of Britain's most spectacular wildlife species to spot. Let's read on from my guide to the UK's native owl species, including how to identify, diet, and habitat, and best places to see. First question. Which owl species are native to the UK? I'll tell you in a bit. There are 5 resident owl species found in the UK and British Isles. 4 of them which are native, which are barn, tawny, long-eared, and short-eared. And one, little, was introduced in the 1800s. Only 3 of these species are found in Northern Ireland, which are barn owl, long-eared, and short-eared. The most common owl in Northern Ireland is the long-eared owl. The short-eared owl is a wintered visitor. What is the most common owl? Tawny owls is our most common British owl species. Listed below are the most common owl species in the UK. Which other owl species are sometimes seen in the UK? Occasionally, other owl species are seen here. The snowy owl is a rare visitor from further north that has bred here on occasion. Do any eagle owls live in the UK? The eagle owls currently breeding in the UK, of which are there just a few pairs, and are the result of accidental releases or deliberate introductions from captive stock. Within the archaeological and fossil record, there are specimens that have been put forward on eagle owls. Bird remains are not easy to identify to the species level, and a review of these suggested that the animal should be considered part of our native. However, there is no evidence that any of the birds currently at liberty have arrived here naturally, and the eagle owl remains on Category E of the British list, denoting for its non-native status. Young eagle owls can disperse over very long distances, but the evidence suggests that they are unwilling to cross large bodies of water, such as the English Channel and the North Sea. A review of aviary losses indicates that as many as 60 to 70 captivate eagle owls may escape into the wild each year, nearly 2/3 of which are never recaptured. Are they all nocturnal? The 5 owl species are all adapted for nocturnal and diurnal hunting. However, they can sometimes be seen during the day as well, particularly if the weather has been poor during recent nights and they need to hunt. The UK's owl species share a number of adaptations that aid them in their nocturnal way of life. They all have large forward-facing eyes, which are so vast that the owl's skull is highly modified to accommodate them and give owls their characteristic flat-faced, round-headed appearance. The owl's sizable eyes also provide greater visual sensitivity, enabling it to make the most of what little light is available at night. Interestingly, while the visual sensitivity of owls is advanced compared to most diurnal birds, it is not that much better than us. Now, how do they twist their heads around? Owls can rotate their heads up to 270 degrees and twist them nearly upside down. But how? Well, all birds have very mobile heads, partly to aid preening, feeding, and flight, and partly to compensate for the fact that their eyes are fixed in their sockets, making it difficult for birds to glance around them. They have 11 to 25 neck vertebrae, compared with just 7 in most mammals. Owls take this flexibility to extreme. They can rotate their heads up to 270 degrees and twist them nearly upside down. To prevent such injury, bursting blood vessels or cutting off the blood supply to the brain, The arteries in an owl's neck, which sits inside the tubes within the hollow bones, are cushioned by air sacs. Other arteries at the base of the skull can dilate to store food, so if the flow is interrupted lower down, there is reserve to supply the brain. Here are our most common owl species. Number 1. Barn owl. Numbers have declined in recent years, but barn owls are one of Britain's most recognisable species. They are mostly found in farmland and grassland. Once a barn owl has found a suitable hunting spot, they will return to this location every year. Barn owls tend to hunt at dawn and dusk, and they have a general lifespan of up to 10 years in the wild. To encourage them closer to your home, install a super safe owl box to your garden or leave a patch of grass to grow, creating a habitat for voles. But what do they eat? With a diet of small rodents such as wood mice, field voles, and common shrews, they silently swoop down into terrain, also known as grassland, to catch their prey. Barn owls are one of the only birds to have the ability to fly silently, and this enables them to hear the tiny, quiet movements of their prey. What is the wingspan of a barn owl? Barn owls have wings with a large surface area that can reach a length of 80 to 95 centimeters. This allows barn owls to glide for much longer than other birds. 1 second. There we go. This allows barn owls to glide for much longer than other birds, meaning they don't have to flap as much, decreasing noise level. Subsequently, barn owls are medium-sized predators, reaching about 36 centimeters in body length. Next, number 2 is the tawny owl. Tawny owls have a wingspan of approximately 1 meter and weigh around half a kilogram, or is it 500 grams? Just like barn owls, tawny owls will live in the same location for the majority of their life, and sometimes even lay their eggs in abandoned crow's nests or squirrel drays. When searching for tawny owls, look out for owl pellets. These are indigestible materials wrapped in fur and coughed back up by the owl, to prevent damage to the bird's inner organs. Tawny owls can be found in mainland Britain and the Isle of Man. The most widespread owl species found in the UK. Tawny owls prefer wooded habitats, including some wooded shrub suburbs. This sedentary and territorial species uses the knowledge of its woodland territory to hunt small mammals from favoured perches. But what do they eat? They have sustained a whole wide population through the land due to their versatile diet of small mammals, amphibians, bats, and even earthworms. How do they communicate? Tawny owls have a circular face, which allows sound waves to be redirected to their ears, located under their feathers. Anyway, tawny owl's ears, like many other species, are slightly out of alignment, which allows his exceptional directional hearing. Male tawnies hoot to advertise that they have occupied a territory like this. However, the structure of the hoot differs between individuals, and male tawnies have been known to react more strongly to the calls of strangers than those of known neighbours. This shows that the owls can identify other individuals from their call. But calls don't reveal identity or holding of a territory. Indeed, evidence suggests that the owl's vocalizations can impact all sorts of additional information to rivals or prospective mates about the equality of the bird itself. For example, the pitch of the call is related to the owl's size, and the final vibrato is longer in larger males than in smaller ones. Males carrying a large number of blood parasites have calls with a reduced number of frequencies, and a study has revealed that the call of successful males contain a longer note than those of their less successful peers. Next, short-eared owl. The majority of Britain's short-eared owls breed in North England and Scotland and can be seen mostly in winter, where they inhabit wetlands and coastal habitats. Often active during the day, the short-eared owl is restricted as a breeding species to upland, moorland, and occasionally coastal grazing marsh. These owls are known to hunt during the day, so spotting a short-eared owl whilst it preys on its lunch is not unusual. These owls have a body length of around 30 to 40 centimeters and a wingspan of 90 to 105 centimeters. With mottled brown bodies, they are able to camouflage into the coastal brush and wetland reeds on small mammals such as mice, rays, and voles. Its noticeable short-eared tufts gives this owl its name, along with its distinctive reddish-yellow coloured eyes. A species its movement, the bird moves between Britain and overseas in response to vole numbers. Throughout the winter, some short-eared owls migrate to Scandinavia, Iceland, and Russia, so look out for the occasional spectacle of these owls flying over the ocean. Number 4. Long-eared. Long-eared owls are possibly Britain's most mysterious owl, which is most commonly spotted when migrating around the coast or while it's in its communal winter roosts of more than 20 individuals. This nocturnal and shy species of owl has tufts on its head, which are made of around 6 to 8 feathers. These tufts don't actually have anything to do with the owl's ears, which are located under its feathers on its facial disc. It is suggested, however, that these tufts help to break up the owl's silhouette, confusing predators. Just like tawnies, long-eared owls lay their eggs in discarded nests as well as hollow in tree trunks. In order to hunt down its prey, these owls fly in a zigzag pattern, scanning the ground in a most effective manner. Roughly a third of owl species worldwide have ear tufts or horns. These appendages are mainly used for displaying visual communication, but are also thought to play a role in camouflage, breaking up the bird's outline against its background. Each tuft is comprised of one or more feathers, those of the long-eared owl which have 6 to 8. These are usually flattened against the head and thus difficult to see, but are swiftly raised when an individual is agitated by a potential intruder and needs to carry out its threat display. Owls will sometimes raise their ear tufts as human observers, and long-eared owls are also known to raise theirs during their display flight using their advertised ownership of a breeding territory. Ear tufts don't play no role in hearing. An owl's ears are located lower down on its head, on the margin of the facial disc. In fact, there are no obvious external signs of their presence. Finally, number 5. Little owl. With striking yellow eyes and a mottled cream and brown coat, the little owl is Britain's non-native species of owl, which hunts both in the day and the night. What do they eat? Unlike other owls, the little owl has enough cone and rod cells with its retina to able to see in colour during the day as well as night. Allowing this bird to have a diet of invertebrates, mostly moths, beetles, earwigs, and earthworms, this little owl could become too obese to fly over finding a particularly good hunting ground. The broad markings on the back of the little owls act as armour, deterring predators such as sparrowhawks and even larger owls. Where to see these? Mainly inhabiting farmlands, rural villages, and parkland, little owls are mostly commonly spotted perched on fence posts, which they wait for their prey. Did you know that owls have over 20 vocalizations of their unique call? Well, that's it for today. Time for our bedtime lesson.